Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. A bit of a sober, uh, solemn time, isn't it? With news that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died this week after such a long reign. Indeed, when I was born 67 years ago, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth was our monarch, and so for the whole of my life, she's been the monarch. She's been on the throne. And we sing each year, God save our gracious Queen. And that's going to change now. So, sad time. We give thanks for her life. Two things come to mind when I think of Queen Elizabeth II. One is her servanthood. Yes, in some ways she was privileged. She was one of the richest people in the world at one time, certainly in this country, and yet she devoted herself to serving others through her role as the Queen. She became Queen on the death of her father in her 20s, and so for all those years, 70 years or so, she's been fulfilling her duty, her role, which at times can't have been easy by any means. And the other thing that came to mind as I thought of her was her Christian faith. And I've got on my bookshelf this book that was produced to commemorate her 90th birthday. And it was the first ever book, and possibly still the only one, for which the Queen herself has written the foreword. It's called The Servant Queen and the King She Serves. So it's about her life, but also about her deep and abiding Christian faith and the King of Kings, Jesus, whom she served through her life. And I just want to take this vlog really to share with you some quotes, some of the statements that the Queen herself made concerning her aspects of her Christian faith. I used to love listening to the Christmas broadcasts, because often whatever she's talking about in those broadcasts, she would talk about the importance to her of Jesus and her Christian faith. So let me share some quotes with you. And the first one is, she kind of really highlights that she is a follower of Christ. Jesus Christ lived obscurely for most of his life. He was maligned and rejected by many, though he had done no wrong. And yet, billions of people now follow his teaching and find in him the guiding light for their lives. I am one of them. So she wasn't afraid of saying, I am a follower of Christ. And another one, this is from one of her Christmas broadcasts. This is the time of the year when we remember that God sent his only Son to serve, not to be served. He restored love and sacrifice. He restored love and service to the center of our lives in the person of Jesus Christ. Love and service. And that is what the Queen sought to place, as a key part of her own life. And then thirdly, for me, the life of Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, whose birth we celebrate today, is an inspiration and an anchor in my life. Isn't that great? The story of Jesus, the person of Jesus, an inspiration and an anchor in the Queen's life. A role model of reconciliation and forgiveness. He stretched out his hands in love, acceptance, and healing. Christ's example has taught me to seek to respect and value all people of whatever faith or none. And that element of forgiveness, one of my prayers is that we read that there are difficulties in relationships within the royal family. And I pray that there will be their forgiveness and reconciliation. To many of us, our beliefs are of fundamental importance. For me, the teachings of Christ and my own personal accountability before God provide a framework in which I try to lead my life. I, like so many of you, have drawn great comfort in difficult times from Christ's words and example. And what stands out for me from that quote is the importance of the teachings of Christ, the person of Christ, but also, she says, my own personal accountability before God. And that's something we all have. Whether we believe in God or not, one day we'll stand before him, as the Queen will have done. And I'm sure that as she came before him, she wasn't a perfect person, but I'm sure that she would have heard those words, well done, good and faithful servant. Just a couple more. I know just how much I rely on my own faith to guide me through the good times and the bad. Each day is a new beginning. I know that the only way to live my life is to try to do what is right, to take the long view, to give of my best in all that the day brings, and to put my trust in God. Like others of you who draw inspiration from your own faith, I draw strength from the message of hope in the Christian gospel. That message of hope, such a central part of the Christian message, hope that we have in Jesus Christ. And then finally, for Christians, as for all people of faith, reflection, meditation, prayer help us to renew ourselves in God's love as we strive daily to become better people. The Christian message shows us that this love is for everyone. There is no one beyond its reach. No one beyond the reach of God's love in Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes shall not perish but have everlasting life. We give thanks for the life of Queen Elizabeth II. May she rest in peace and rise in glory. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.